Hello and welcome to another video in navigating the Windows environment with a screen reader. Today, we're going to look at changing our default landing page in File Explorer in Windows. Before we get started, I just want to state that we will be using JAWS for Windows as our screen reader during this video. However, you can use any other Windows-based screen reader that you would like or feel comfortable with because all of the processes and commands we will be using are completely Windows-based. So let's go ahead and get started. I often recommend that we set File Explorer to open in the location where most documents are saved. The home area is of course one option, and we looked at how to navigate that before, but often it's not the most effective for those of us using screen readers. It doesn't always give information that we want. If you choose to change the location where File Explorer opens, we're going to do that now. I recommend we perform the following process to allow the command Windows plus the letter E or echo to open the Documents folder. In my case, though, I won't be choosing the Documents folder. I'll be choosing a different folder that functions as my Documents folder. You should choose whatever folder you feel is the most appropriate. But the process we're going to follow is the same. So I'm going to open File Explorer by pressing Windows key plus the letter E, echo.
Windows E. Home. List box. Recommended expanded 1 of 2.
We're going to press Alt to go to the Home menu, or to the menu bar actually, and Alt will always take you to the menu bar. So pressing Alt here.
View button collapsed 9 of 11. To activate, press space bar.
We're going to press the right arrow until we hear More Options.
Filter button collapsed 10. More options button 11 of 11. To activate, press space bar.
I can press space or enter to open that.
Enter menu undo button 1 of 6. To move through items, press up or down arrow.
And I'm going to press the down arrow until I hear Options.
Select all, select none, invert, select options button 6 of 6.
Press enter here.
Enter leaving menus, folder options dialog, general page, open File Explorer to combo box, home 1 of 13. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
We heard we're in the folder options dialog box and we're on the general page. That tells us there's more than one page in this dialog box. We will have to come back to that later. But right now, I'm focused on a combo box that says Open File Explorer 2. Right now, the focus is on Home. You will have several options in this drop-down to choose from. I'm going to use my down arrow to choose the option that I am most comfortable with. You go ahead and choose the option that you are the most comfortable with.
This PFS Amy-Vidby 6 of 13.
This is the one I want, so I'm going to press enter.
Enter Home-File Explorer, more options button 11 of 11. To activate, press space bar.
I want to make sure that this took effect, so I'm going to close File Explorer and I'm going to reopen it. So I'm going to press Alt plus F4 to close it.
Alt F4.
Now I'm going to press Windows key plus the letter E, echo, to open File Explorer again, and we'll listen to how it sounds different.
Windows E. Amy-Vidby items view multi-select list box not selected. Archive not checked 1 of 145. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
So it said Amy WCBVI DPI. That functions basically as my documents folder. This is where most of the folders and files that I save need to go. As you heard, I'm focused, or my system cursor is in a list box with 145 items, which are mostly folders. And this is where I want to be. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you a way of changing the view of our folder so that we can hear the most information possible. Right now, and by default, many people have their views set as icons. And what that does is that sets your folders or your files up in sort of a grid pattern, which is fine, but again, with grid patterns, using your down arrow will only take you up and down in one column. You will miss a lot of information. it's best to have it set up in a details view. That gives us a lot more information to work with. I'm going to show you how to do that now. To set up all folders in Windows to use the details view, we're going to follow the following steps. And what I'm going to do is start from scratch by closing this File Explorer right now so that we can all start from the same point. So Alt F4 to close it.
Alt F4.
I'm going to open my Documents folder, or I can actually open any folder that I want. It doesn't matter, just as long as it is not the home landing page. This does not work on the home landing page. It will work from any other folder view, however. So I'm going to press my Start menu and type the word Documents and press Enter.
Search box edit. Documents, enter, Documents dash File Explorer, Documents dash File Explorer, Documents, Items View Multi-Select List Box, working on it,
Okay, I'm just going to silence my screen reader. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press the Alt key to take me to my menu bar.
New button collapsed, 1 of 10. To activate, press space bar.
And I'm going to press my right arrow to go to View.
Sort button collapsed, 8 of 10. View button collapsed, 9 of 10. To activate, press space bar.
Now I'm going to press Enter to open this View area.
Enter extra large icons, 1 of 11. To move through items, press up or down arrow.
I want to use my down arrow to find where it says Details.
Large icons, medium icons, small icons, list, 5 of 11. Details, 6 of 11.
Now I'm going to press Enter.
Enter. View button leaving menus.
This only shows this one folder in the Details view. Any other folder or file area that I have open with File Explorer will not show the Details view unless I perform this second step that I'm going to go through with you now. My focus is now still in the menu bar. If it weren't, I would bring my focus back just by pressing the Alt key, but I haven't left the menu bar. I'm going to go back to that same dialog box I was in before for when I changed the landing page. So I'm going to press right arrow until I hear More Options.
More Options button, 10 of 10. To activate, press space bar.
Now I'm going to press Enter.
Enter menu, undo button, 1 of 7. To move through items, press up or down arrow.
Now I'm going to go down to Options.
Hint select all, select none, invert select properties, but options button, 7 of 7.
And now I'm going to press Enter.
Enter leaving menus, folder options dialog, general page, open File Explorer to combo box, Amy-Vidby, 6 of 13. To change the selection, use the arrow keys.
Now I would normally tab through this dialog box, but I know, as I mentioned before, that there are multiple pages to this dialog. Right now we're on the general page. We need to be on the view page. So I know where that is. I need to go to Shift plus Tab to go backwards.
General tab selected. To switch pages, press Control plus page down.
Now I'm going to go to the right to find my View tab.
View tab selected. To switch pages, press Control plus page down.
I could have done this another way as well. I could have pressed Control page up or page down to go between the pages, but this is, I think, a more practical way of showing you navigation of a dialog box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Tab. I want to wait until I hear the screen reader say Apply to all folders.
Folder views apply to folders button. To activate, press spacebar, Alt plus L.
So I want to press Enter here because I want this Details view to apply to all of the folders when I have them open in File Explorer. So I'm going to press Enter here.
Enter. Folder options dialog. Folder views dialog. Do you want all folders of this type to match this folder's view settings? Yes button. To activate, press spacebar, Alt plus Y.
And I'm going to press Enter again, or Alt-Y.
Enter. Documents - File Explorer. Folder Options dialog. View page. You can apply this view left parent such as details or icons, right parent to all folders of this type. Folder views. Apply the folders button to activate. Press spacebar.
And I can now tab down to my OK button.
Folder view advanced. Restore default. OK button to activate. Press spacebar. Enter. Documents - File.
And I just pressed my Control key to make my screen reader be quiet. So now all of my folders will open in this Details view. I'm going to exit File Explorer and reopen it with my Windows plus E in a minute.
Alt F4. Windows E. Amy-Vidby. Items view multi-select list box. Not selected. Archive not checked. 5/18/2026 9:47 a.m. File folder 1 of 145. To move to an item, press the arrow keys.
This gives me a lot more information. It tells me my focus is on a file folder. I can also press my down arrow.
Dollar purchasing repairs and contracts checked 2 of 145. Status available when online.
It tells me my status by pressing the right arrow.
Date modified 3/4/2025 8:52 a.m. 1 of 1.
And if I press right arrow again,
Type file folder 1 of 1.
It'll tell me what type it is, which is a file folder. This is extremely helpful when you're trying to navigate a lot of files and you need to know the type. We're going to talk about sorting as well and other ways to do this. But having this kind of information at your fingertips can be a lot more helpful to you as you're trying to navigate files. So having these views set up in this way gives you the most information with the least amount of effort. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.